Hello everyone, this is Plunkera, and welcome to my universe. Look at all the physics! Look at it all, it makes me so happy, I love looking at it all, yay! Okay, so needless to say, we're gonna do more physics today. When I was looking over things here, I wanted to fix a couple of things on the shirt there. And then I think I'm gonna do the sleeves just because some things are kind of driving me slightly nuts. So I want to be able to put all my stuff back into the folder. I look forward to the day that you can manually sort things in the folder and do not have to pull a bunch of shenanigans. But unfortunately, that is not yet. So for now, let me just fix all of this up. I just didn't like the way the creases were moving relative to the rest of the shadows. So I figured that I should take another look at them and make sure everything is okay. Oh, wait, how did I get the quarter? I don't need to be in a quarter. Man, this is gonna be a repeat of yesterday where I just clicked the wrong keyframe just all day, every day. I hope not. It looks like up and down might still need a little bit more work. I'm pretty happy with everything else though. Everything else I think looks pretty alright. The creases in her shirt were just not quite matching up with the rest of the folds. But everything else is fantastic, and I love it. I love it so much. I just always have so much fun once I get to the stage of everything. It just makes me happy. And in my opinion, that's the way art should make you feel. Just generally happy. Maybe not devoid of frustration, but just generally happy. Okay. I think that's good. Let's do some sleeves. So, what I'm going to do with her coat sleeves is going to be somewhat similar to what I do with the sleeves on her arm. And then I want to add a little bit of twisting to both of them. And then I also want to add some floppiness to down here. But I think that is all I plan to do. Yeah, I think that's all that's left, and I'm debating in my head on whether or not I should do each arm separately, and I do not think that's necessary. I will just put all of them in the same parameter. So I call this sleeve twist. Okay, so now I have to decide how I'm gonna do all of this. Just gotta think about it for a second, as I think taking a moment to think about it will save me time in the long run. Okay. I think this is one where I can just grab basically the entire sleeve. Okay, I guess I'm doing the sleeve first, sure. It doesn't really matter that much. We can do this one first. Okay. Everything is selected. And then I grab a fairly small brush. And I just gently kind of twist the insides. I cannot see anything. You know what? Nah. I need to be able to see, and let's see, I think to do that, we're just gonna turn off the vertices in their entirety. And then, in theory, oh nope, they come back when I arm the parameter. Ah, alas! Okay, I was hoping that turning them off would, fully turn them off. Okay, I'll just zoom in really close and hope for the best. Ah, yes, I was hoping that turning them off would turn them off here too, but no such luck. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You have to be able to click on the vertices in order to move them, so... I guess it kind of makes sense. Anyway, with this particular kind of movement that I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to avoid moving the outer edge too much. I mean, ideally I wouldn't move it at all, but I think it's okay for me to not be completely ideal here. I can already tell I'm gonna have to clean this up just a ton, which is unfortunate, but I think I'll be okay. Just putting a little twist in there. All the way down. There we go. So basically, what it should look like once it's actually cleaned up and not looking all wrinkly is just that this center opening is further to the side. Yeah, just kind of like that. I think that actually... it went better than I thought it might, given I could not see anything at all. So I'll give it that. Okay. I'm gonna clean some parts up now. So, for cleanup, I'm gonna start with this kind of inner part of her sleeve here. I'm calling it inner just because it's the side closer to her body. There we go. So I want to make sure that these shadows and highlights are twisting to the side, and then I'll worry about smoothing things out. And it was just a bit hard to see where those shadows and highlights were with all the vertices on it. It still kind of is, honestly. That should be okay. Now what I want to try to do is kind of get these big buckles, make it so they have about the same thickness away from the edge of the coat here that they did before I moved them. Okay. And also the same angle. This one changed a little bit, so I'm trying to just straighten it all out. It's metal, so I don't want it to look super malleable, super bouncy or gummy. A little bit is fine. I don't think a little bit will hurt anything. Okay. I think that one's good. Let's go do the next one. I'll worry about the specific details in a moment, but the very first thing I want to do here is just make sure that they still appear very rigid and metal. Okay. So now I think I have those in pretty good spots, and I think these outer buckles are fine the way they are. I think it's just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and start smoothing out the edge here. This is gonna make the physics on the sleeve just look so much more three-dimensional, and it's gonna be fantastic. I'm very excited already. I really am. It's physics. They're just so much fun. And I cannot stop gushing about it. They just make me so happy. That's why when I was struggling through the hair, all I could think about is keep going, because someday you're going to be able to add physics to this. And it is going to make you so happy. And now that day is here. It is. It's here. I get to put physics on all the things. And I get to have many a good day doing it. So I'm gonna just go back and forth and reference the original, because this inner part of her sleeve is not perfectly straight. There's quite a lot of little bumps on it. And while I want some parts to be a little bit straighter, I think, just to show the turn, I'm trying to keep a lot of the same bumps, and especially the distance off of these little, I don't know, belt thingies. I do want to keep where they are on the coat about the same. That's what I consider the most important part. And see here, this part is actually pretty straight. There's a few little bumps on it, but it's mostly pretty straight. So here I actually do want to straighten everything out as best I can. Just gotta pay attention to all those little details. You know, every texture, every vertex has its own special characteristics. Their own individual personalities. Okay. Now I'm gonna go through the same area and adjust some of these other shadows. Like, you know, this guy here. He needs to be a slightly different shape, and I want to make sure that all of these belt pieces are connecting to the various shadows that they should. And I think before I get into that, there's this belt loop here, and I kind of want it to twist a little bit more. Yeah, something like this. I think it'll look pretty good once I get it right. Like, it's not a super big twist, so it shouldn't go too far, but I wanted just a little bit more. Gotta exaggerate things a little bit in order to make the physics look nice. I did it in the corner again. It keeps happening. Okay. Alright, so now I kind of want to move these guys over just a little. Just a little. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice little twist. And I think I will move the shadows on that belt just a little bit too. jumping around a bit. It's fine. I can do things in any order. I'll get to them all. So it'll all work out. Assuming I can actually do things on the right keyframe. Man! Please, pay more attention, Sal. Please! Okay. Yeah, so far so good. I will move this over a little bit further. But I think that the way the rest of this is going is just fine. I want it to go over just a little bit more. That is my current debate with myself. I'm gonna stare at it while it wiggles for a second and just decide. Let's see. I don't feel like some of these buckles are moving quite enough. So I'm gonna start there. I'm just gonna grab all of them. It'll be pretty easy to move them individually. Since they are so far apart. I will just grab my big old brush and kinda drag them over just a little bit further. It's nice that they're far enough apart that I can just do this. Instead of having to pay a little bit more attention to things and all that. And why? Why, self? This is like the 4th time already. Let's try that again. On the right keyframe this time. I have no excuse. I'm just so absorbed in doing the physics that I am not paying close enough attention. I gotta work on that. Alright, well, here we go. One more time. One more time. There. See? It's okay. It's okay. I'll just do it one more time, and it'll be okay. This does mean I have to fix up the sleeve part, this part of the sleeve here, but I think it's for the best. It'll look a little bit better. Let me see. Where do I need to attach you? I want to look at that before I start selecting things. Okay, so the shadow bit should kind of just get in there. This will definitely require some additional smoothing, but it's okay. Okay, I think there should be about right. I want to adjust the shape of the little belt thingy too. I separated these so well. I guess I'm actually kind of making use of it this time. Okay, I want the back part to be a little bit longer. Yes, that is very nice. And then I want this front part to just be a little bit straighter. So something like where it all comes up here. The top part just needs to be straight. Again. Okay. Only so much I can say at this point. Let's just adjust the other little metal pieces that need a little bit of adjustment. No. This time, I'm gonna make you redo it. If you put it in the wrong keyframe, you're gonna do it again. Stop it. Okay. This seems fine, though. I think it's all connected okay, and now I just gotta look at that guy. How is he? He got really stretched out, which to an extent makes sense, but I think this might be a little bit too much. I'm on the right keyframe. I checked. I checked. And I will just kind of gently push some of this into place. So now it should look like it's laying a little bit flatter on there, which makes sense given the rotation that I just did. Yeah, I think that should be pretty okay. Let's straighten this out just a little bit and make this just a little bit less puffy. There, so now we see like a little bit more of it. I think that looks pretty legit. Okay, now I'm gonna do the next one. And the way that each of these look will kind of tell me where I should put the shadows on the sleeve itself here. Which is why I decided I wanted to do them next. And this being a little bit more compressed, I think also makes sense given the change in the turn of the sleeve here. This is why I don't mind them not being like the exact same shape, as long as it still feels kind of rigid. I'm actually not sure if there's going to be an up and down to this. I just autopiloted a two-dimensional one instead of a basic 1D one. If I decide not to fill in the top and the bottom, you know, that's fine. I don't have to. It's not like the program will break if I don't, so... But I'm not actually sure if I need up and down here. Let me think about that. No, there's something I can do for up and down. Okay, I have an idea. Okay. Yeah, I have a good idea. It's gonna look nice. I'm actually kind of excited for it now. I knew that I was gonna kind of hate doing all the little belt pieces here. But it must be done to make everything look good. There's just a lot of them. There is just a lot. Her clothes look very, very simple, but there is a surprising amount of little details on them. A surprising amount. Okay, so when I look at this, there's like kind of peaks up here, and then there's a hill. It's very curved, whereas right now I have it very straight. So that is probably why it is not quite lining up for me. So let's get that curve back in there. Okay, and I think I also shoved it just a little bit too far back there. nose is just a little bit itchy today. I don't know what it is about streaming that makes my nose itch, but it does. It definitely does. It's very strange. I think I kind of want the little piece going over it to be just a little bit further that way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm just thinking about how this this part here should be. I'm trying to picture what it would look like on the other side there, and I do think that this has to be closer to the edge in order to make sense. I wasn't thinking about this when I was cutting. But I think that there's supposed to be a little piece kind of like this on this side of her coat too. So I kind of need to make this go back to the edge in order for it to look right. Otherwise, it's gonna look like it just abruptly stops. So that was just something I wasn't thinking about at the time. Good notes for the future. So hopefully I can, you know, make nicer things in the future. That's just what improvement is all about. Sometimes I think that people that are not creative see creative types being very, very critical of themselves. And it's just like, no, it's not self-loathing. It's just trying to make things a little bit better for next time. Because you can bet that I'm going to do another model someday. I don't know when that will be, but that day will come. I promise. I like them. I like making them. Okay, yeah, I think that should work. Let's see, how does that look? I think I actually need this bit to come forward a little bit more. Let me look back at this one, because I think I made the same mistake here. Yeah. I do need this to be further forward, because I plan to move the inner sleeve here a little bit more too. Or the outer sleeve, I should say. My brain thought one thing and decided to say the exact opposite, as is surprisingly common for me. Caught it this time. I almost did it on the wrong keyframe, but I caught it. I'm learning. Okay, that seems good there. Now I will do it for the next one. Just bring all of this a little further forward. Yeah, and I think that is pretty good. It'll look good once I go and fix the sleeve, but I decided I'm doing that a little bit later. And yeah, see, this is the kind of connecting bit that I was talking about here. We don't see the whole thing, I don't think, but it's kind of like that. Okay, how am I going to do this? How do I want to do this? I think that I might have actually moved this guy a little bit too far. Imagine that. Let's bring him back up just a touch here. All the other ones I had to move this side, but this one I gotta move the other part. This one I'm gonna just bring back over. Let's see, you're not quite hanging off the edge on the original, so... Yeah, I think you're fine right there. I think that's a great spot. Yeah, let's fix the spacing of these guys a little bit. I think that the metal was looking a little bit squashed. There we go. Okay. I think that actually covers most of the problems that I was having. So now it's just finer adjustments and cleaning up that last little bit. Everything here being metal, I am trying to keep the proportions very, very similar. I think that's important here because it needs to look very stiff and rigid. And if things move too much, it just loses that effect entirely. It no longer looks like metal, and, well, that would just be unfortunate, you know? Okay. Yeah, I think that's much better than it was. That should look pretty alright once I actually fix the sleeves themselves. And then I do think that the rest of the other metal part there is still sticking out just a little bit too far. So I'll drop him back just a touch. Okay, that seems pretty good. I will call that fine. I do think I want to extend this back part just a little bit there. There we go. And it needs to be a little bit higher. Just a little bit there. Angle got a little bit messed up. Not a big deal though. Something I can fairly easily fix. So now I'm just kind of correcting the shape a little bit. Trying to match the shape that was here. And that indeed does match a little bit better. So I think that's good. So I'm gonna go and finish adjusting the rest of the sleeve. Let's see, about how far apart should you be? So this one goes all the way to the edge. And then it kind of sticks back out around here. Seems a bit odd, but I will take your word for it. You are the original, after all. So it's kind of like this, I think. Yes. Yes. Let's make this stick out in the same place, and I think that should be okay. Yeah, make sure that nice little fold is back in there. Just a little bit more fold. I can kind of see just by looking at it that this screw, I guess, kind of sticks into the fabric here, creating the folds on either side of it. Speaking of the screw, I want to make it a little bit nicer. There we go. So now I just got to go in and kind of recreate that little fold here. Okay, where it sticks out is actually quite sharp. So I think it's more like this. Just doing my best to give the same impression. And yes, that is much closer. Okay, I think that's good. So I'll just keep following that part all the way through here until we get to the next one. So where do you connect? Once again, kind of on the edge. This one goes about... Yeah, this screw kind of sticks on this kind of outer bit right here, where it's kind of more highlighted. And this one is like right on the edge of that. You can see that it looks like this shadow would run right above the screw there. Okay. That is easy enough to remember. So this part would go all the way back here. I want to make the angle here just a little bit less sharp. And then this part would go right about there, I think. And I'll just pull the whole thing on down. I'll worry about the shadows in the inner area in just a little bit. I want to get everything else going here. Yeah, look at it go. With that, I do think I have to adjust that little belt loop again. Just a little bit. Okay, looks pretty good, I think. Let me make sure that this part in particular is okay. I think I want to take this center part down just a little bit more. Okay, so it looks like this one is going to be a fairly time-consuming physic. I think it'll look pretty nice once it's all done, though. Alright, let's... Before I do the shadows here, I want to align the outer part as well. So I'll start at the top. Although I need this to be a little bit straighter up through here before I can do any of that. There we go. Okay, seems pretty good. Now then, how does this part connect to this buckle? It's kind of like right on the edge, so I should probably put it like right about there. See how much I'm able to there, because I did not cut this for this kind of thing, did I? I wasn't expecting such a big twist, apparently. Should have been. Definitely should have been. Honestly, I am kind of looking forward to learning some more complex cutting techniques for future models. I think that'll be pretty fun. We'll see what I can make with it. I am very excited to just run with everything I learned from this project. My future self is going to have so many things to think about. No. No. Not that keyframe. Bad hand. Okay. Oh yes, but my future self is gonna have so many things to think about, and so many... I already have so many different ideas of just some stuff I want to try. Rigging is fun. It is so much fun just to watch everything start to move. Just the drawings that I was working on moving around a bit. I'm a little bit sad that this doesn't look super great, though. Oh well. I don't think there's much I can do about it. I have to stretch it out because I just don't have extra to use. So in this case, it's just kind of what I gotta do. That's why I said that I was looking forward to learning some more advanced cutting techniques and how to properly implement them. So that this way I wouldn't just have to stretch it out and leave out things kind of blurry along one of the edges like that. Alright, let's take a look at this so far. I think I'm actually gonna see how it just moves. Okay, that actually looks pretty good so far. I want the belt to move a little bit more. And then I need to fix these shadows still. I think some of the belts, the connecting parts here, also still need a little bit of work. It's okay, this is exactly why I'm testing it out. I think I will start with the metal bits. So I will fix these guys up here. I'm gonna collapse some stuff here. Just so I don't have to scroll quite as much. There we go. I really do have a lot of physics. Just because I get the feeling I'm gonna be going back and forth here quite a lot. It's like being able to just bounce between the two keyframes is very helpful, but sometimes you just gotta actually see it moving. And that is the point that I'm at here. Man, I moved that little metal piece quite a lot, and it doesn't look great where it currently is. Not great. I think I kinda made this stem part connecting into the code a little bit too thick as well. It's okay, I'll just take it slow and gradually adjust all of these things. Okay, the shadow was fine the way it was. The body got a little bit too thin, but the shadow, or a little bit too thick, but the shadow was fine. So let's take that back a little bit. Pull it back on out. If you ever wondered why I made so many layers for the coat, this is why. It lets me do little twists like this much more easily. Okay, let's do the next little middle bit. think I know what to do. Just had to think about it for a second. It's always good to think about what you're doing before you do it. That is actually something that I see in many different fields, like with drawing. If you watch someone who is very good at it draw in real time, a lot of the time you'll notice that they pause for a little bit before they actually draw their mark, rather than just jumping into it quickly. Because in the end, it actually takes less time if you just think a little bit harder about what you're doing. And I've also seen it in people that play like first-person shooters, where before they shoot, they take a moment to just line up their shot a little bit better, think about what they're doing, and then shoot. And they are much more accurate for it. Even though it means their shot takes a little bit longer to go off. So it is amazingly consistent, even in the most random of places. Just think a little bit harder and you'll get better results. Alright, I kind of felt like this screw was getting a little bit fat and getting a bit stretched out in random places, so I figured that I should go back in and adjust him a little bit. That's a little bit better, but I overdid it on this end, so stretch that one back out. I'll just keep going back and forth until I'm happy. This one is actually the messiest. I have to adjust this buckle a lot too. As you can kind of see, it's squirming in a very unpleasant way. Very unpleasant indeed. I just want to start with these parts. Because while I am somewhat distracted by that, I can still ultimately only do one thing at a time. The eternal curse. So I'm just gonna gradually work my way over. Okay, now I think I can start adjusting that. And I think all I really have to do is pull some of these vertices up here. There's almost a little point that sticks out right there, and that is the only area that I really think needs to move in order for it to feel right. Because once he's at the right vertical position and I have this curve feeling like it's at the right angle, I think that should fix probably like 90% of the problems there. Actually got to consult the mesh on this one because there's something moving around in there. It's not quite working out. Okay, I see it. Indeed. Seeing the mesh made it a little bit easier for me to notice just how misaligned that particular vertex was. Mesh is good at that. I don't know, man. It still has a very stretched out quality to it. There's something through here. Okay, I think once again I see it. This vortex actually goes over here. I can see that the mesh is perhaps a little bit messy. I don't think I expected to be doing quite this much with it. It's alright, I'll make it work. I always do. I always manage to find my way through. Just gonna take a little bit more mesh consulting than I like, and much more than I was expecting for an area that I did not think was gonna move that much. See, like I said, art is always full of surprises. Sometimes you get an idea and suddenly it's like, oh, well, I was perhaps a little bit unprepared for that. It's okay, it's worth it though. I think that this idea is a pretty good one. I miss my very simple physics already though. I was having a pretty good time just being able to jump from thing to thing and just being like, oh man, look at the wiggles! Look at the wiggles! It's okay, I'll finish off the coat sleeves today. Okay, middle part's looking much better through there. Look at that. Alright, now let's get the bottom ones. Was not quite able to finish all my water before stream today, so I got a little bit thirsty. Okay. So this is the last one. And oh man, I don't even know what's going on with this guy. Okay. He definitely got knocked around a bit, so let's see if we can get him in the right place. Make him a little bit less punch drunk or something. That just kind of what's happening reminds me of. Couldn't tell you why, but I don't know, the movement to me just looks a little bit drunk. You can read the vertices like tea leaves. Make up a bunch of random stories about your little vertices. Oh, hello there, Vivi. Oh, man. Okay, I'm just gonna consult the mesh on this one. This one is super messed up. Yes! She's hanging out next to me! I look over there occasionally and see if there's anything, like, visibly wrong with what's going on, but nope, I think it's looking pretty alright now. I fixed most of the things that were bothering me. So now it's just time to do some more physics. Right now, I am making her coat sleeves swing around in a nice way. I've gotten maybe probably a little bit more than half the coat sleeve physics done already on the one that's active next to me. But now I'm doing the other half. Yes, it is finally physics time, and I am just happy. I do love me some physics. They just make everything infinitely more fun and lively. Okay, I think I'm finally starting to wrangle this little piece, though. He was just all out of sorts. I think he's doing better now. Let me see how it looks without the mesh on. There's actually like a little dent up top. What the heck? Okay. Well, whatever you say, original art, I will follow your lead. We'll put that back in. That's how it looks, that's how it looks. Okay. Now let's smooth out some of the other parts of this. Gotta say, I am not looking forward to having to do this again with the other sleeve. There are just a lot of tiny little moving parts on this. There's a lot of them. There is a lot going on. Okay. That screw just got a little bit stretched out. So, gotta slide him back into place and... yeah, there we go. Now I can worry about this thing that got all stretched out and is looking very strange right now. What do I even want to do with you? Okay, well, I guess for starters, I'm gonna push your tail back in a little bit. I pulled it out a little bit too far. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm not quite sure. What am I gonna do with you? Okay, I think I have some idea now. Just kind of had to think about it for a second. And I think if I straighten that bit, that'll help a lot. And then for some of this, I think I just need to ask the mesh for its opinion again. What do you think, Mesh? What's going on here? I'm not actually too sure. At the very least, it says some of these parts should be straighter, which I can see it. And then maybe if I just grab this whole thing and pull it up just a tad here, it'll follow the center beam connecting thingy a little bit better, in theory. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit better. I'll take a little bit better. I will take a little bit better. I'll just start trying to match the various angles and shapes going on there. Okay, I think I'm starting to see more and more of it. Sometimes I just gotta stare at it for a little bit and everything starts to make sense. That moment when things start to make sense is pretty nice, though. It's a good feeling. No longer do I feel like I'm just wandering around in the dark, hitting random buttons and hoping it all works out. I have a direction. Okay, this is why I ultimately say, if you get stuck somewhere, you don't necessarily have to know where to go. You just have to know some random general direction. Somewhere that is slightly better than where you're currently standing. And eventually, as you start moving toward the correct answer, it'll make itself a little bit more clear and obvious. That's been my experience, at least. I think I will consult the mesh on some of this, though. This poor area, I think, just got a little beat up from some of my other adjustments. So let's see if I can kind of fix things up here. Okay, let's see how that is. Closer. There's this little corner there is still off, but I think the rest is... in one spot right there. The rest I think is close enough. But these two little spots right on the edge, I do want to clean up just a little bit, because they kind of define the general shape of it, and there's these little bits that come off there that I think just look better if they're going to be in the roughly the right spot. It's not too picky, but I'm too picky, so... Here we are. I actually feel like this part is sticking back together, so I kind of want to drop some of these bottom vertices, stretch it out just a tad more. And yeah, I think that's fine. Let's see, is there anything else I need to fix regarding the sleeve part itself? I do need to fix all the shadows and highlights on this side, but I think that is it. I'll worry about the shadows in the kind of light inner part of the sleeve a little bit later. So let's go ahead and adjust this belt here. Just while I'm doing all the random belt-related things around here. Just pull this back a little bit, let it twist along with everything else. Its twist was a little bit less there because initially I did have it twisting just a little bit less. The whole sleeve, that is. So it was lined up with the old twist. And now it is lined up with the new twist. I think I need to push the button back just a little bit more. But the buckle itself is okay. Buckle itself is okay. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's go adjust all the shadows and highlights on the sleeve there. I have an idea of where a lot of it should go because there's like, you know, little dents and stuff where these guys connect. And that makes my life a little bit easier. Okay. Oh, that's right, this is inner. I named it inner because it was the part closer to Shalom. It was covering like the inner part of her arm. So that made sense in my head. And all that really matters is that I know what I'm talking about here. Let's see, how far into the screw does that go? Yeah, about where I have it. And I'll just smooth everything out as I go. Normally that's a little bit dangerous, but I think it's fine here. There's not that much going on with the highlights and shadows here, so it should be pretty straightforward in theory. We'll see if I regret this choice, but I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine. Alright, and now I can finally clean up this part that is at the very bottom that was bothering me a little bit. It just got a little uneven down there. Okay. Yeah, so far so good. I think I want to move the highlight down in a couple more places, though. Like, up here is, like, perfect. I think this is great. But I think I want the highlight through here to be a little bit lower. This needs to change shape just a little bit, and this needs to come down a little bit, and that needs to come down a little bit. Right now, it's a little bit too stationary. Okay. So... what I was looking at there is, because the sleeve is twisting, I was looking for places that was not twisting enough with everything else. It made the highlights look like they were stationary when everything else was twisting around them, and that looked a bit weird, so gotta push these highlights a little further down. The ones up here too. I'm glad that I meshed this well enough that I can kind of do this without really giving it that much thought. It's super easy to move it all. The joy of having many, many dots to work with. There's a joy to having many dots and a pain to having many dots, and I think I actually struck the balance pretty decently here. Maybe a few too many dots. There's a few places that I think do have a few too many. I'm just thinking about this for what I will want to do on future meshes that I make. I'm thinking a lot about future models here, because I do want to make more. I think it'll be a while before I start the next one, but I want to make more. Okay, I think I got maybe half of them. Probably a little bit more than half. I need to... Up here got a little crunchy. But it's in the right place, so I think that's good. Here's not quite right, and here needs to move down a little bit more still. I'll fix the crunchy spots first because I think that'll be the easiest. Just gently guide some of these spots back into place. There we go. Yeah, there we go. And then around here, there's this big little highlight here, and kind of want him to go around the belt a little bit better. Let's see, there was another issue there. I can't remember what it is, so I'm gonna look. Okay, I see it. I see it. For some reason, I keep wanting to click on my outer layer. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm just gonna get this part right before I move on. I think that's probably okay, and then I just want this part on the other side to slide in just a little bit more. Make it look like it's kind of going around this button here. I think that's what this shadow is trying to show. Yeah. I do think that is a little bit better. Okay, I think that should be fine. And then the last part was just this highlight here, which is still not really moving. So I'm actually going to grab the brush here and just really move the entire thing over here. Gonna make it go. Cannot be in that spot anymore. It's gotta get out of there. Okay, that is much better. So now I just clean. Okay, looking good. So let's just adjust those interior shadows just a little bit here. Where are they? That'll be you. Which... I think I'll just keep with how the shadows were before, and I'll just keep you completely hidden. And then there's... you. Oh, no, that's the inside itself. There we go. You. Yes. Let's see, how did it look in the original? Covered kind of a significant portion, and there was no shadow up there. So, I think I'll just let it cover the same spots. So we'll send this guy out like this. And then I think that should be fine. Yeah, seems fine. Which means it's time to do the other sleeve. Oh no. Okay. Because I want it twisting to the right as well. I'm wondering if I can give myself a nice shortcut and... Okay. I'm gonna see if I can cheat. Because that took a while, and if I can cheat, that'll just make my life so much easier. Cheating in art is healthy and should be encouraged, always. It is not the same as cheating in school. Okay. Okay. Move everything just a little bit there. Now then. Oh, oops. I know I don't want to do that. Oh, shoot. I hope I didn't just mess something up there. Is everything okay? Yeah, it looks like everything's okay. Okay, we're good. I was worried that I copied something to a bad place. Okay. So I'm just gonna try to, one by one, copy... Oh gosh. Everything over there. Coat, sleeve, belt, back, right, left. Well, that's a name. Back, right. So that's probably what I wanted here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to copy everything on the left just over to the right. That would be her right. So her right is going to be our left here. The one that I haven't done yet. So far, so good, so... Some of these things are probably going to need their own adjustments, but... If I can save myself some work, I'm going to try. Let's see. Coat, sleeve, belt, shadow. Coat, sleeve... Belt, shadow. Perfect. Okay. Coat, sleeve, buckle, bottom, connect. Coat, sleeve, buckle, bottom, connect. Yes. Coat, sleeve, buckle, bottom. Coat, sleeve, buckle, bottom. Okay. I'm gonna have to be careful because some of these apparently use very similar meshes. Oh dear. Okay. Coat, sleeve, buckle, bottom. Screws. Coat, sleeve, buckle, bottom screws. Okay. Coat, sleeve, buckle, hidden. Are you connecting? Yes, you do appear to be connecting. Okay, so this might take a second. I'm hoping it all works out. Coat, sleeve, buckle, hidden. Screws. Yes. This is going to be middle. Middle loop. Okay. Middle screws. And this is top connecting. Okay, the only one that I can do it here. This is gonna be coat, sleeve, buckle, top loop. Okay, top loop. Top screws. Okay, coat, sleeve, inner. Inner shadow. Coat, sleeve, inner shadow, left. Coat, sleeve, inner shadow. Oh, dear. Okay, so I have a duplicate name here. Okay, so inner shadow left, inner shadow left. I do not differentiate here. Okay, so I kind of have to guess. I'm gonna guess that this is gonna be the top one, and that this will go to the bottom one. I'm not sure if I was correct. Let's try this one on the bottom one then. Okay, I'll just do those two manually. Inside. And outer. Okay. So how far did that get me? I don't like it. I don't. Okay. Well, I tried, but I don't like it, so I'm gonna remove all of the right changes. And I will go through and just start from the beginning. So let me go ahead and clean all of this up, so that this way I can start fresh. Well, it didn't work out, but I'm so glad I tried. Because if it did work out, that would have been great. But sometimes it just doesn't. Okay, so gotta do some more messing around with all of these and making sure I don't accidentally hit one on the wrong side. Being very careful here because I like the way my left side looks. And I don't want to mess it up. That would just be sad. That would be incredibly sad. I'd probably cry a little bit. Maybe only internally. But I'd still cry a little bit. Okay, let me make sure I have no more deformations on the right side. And if that is the case, then I will go back and go and do that sleeve. I was not expecting just a simple sleeve twist to take the entire time, but I guess her sleeves are quite complicated. And all the other ones I just kept it very, very simple. But a twist is indeed a little bit more complicated. Okay, looks like we're good to go. So I'm gonna go select everything. And I am not gonna be able to see a thing, but it will let me get started. And it will be easier to do it like this than trying to do each piece individually, at least at first. Okay. That's why I say at least at first. I wish I could just set for mirror here, but I don't want it to be mirrored. I want this one to also be kind of twisting to the left. I'll be able to set for mirror for this one. For that entire keyframe. So I will look forward to that. Okay. No, I don't want... Oh, shoot. There we go. I want everything to move a little bit more evenly here. There we go. Alright, can barely see, but I can see enough. Enough to get it started. That's the goal here. Just enough to get things started. And then I will go through and clean it up after. trying to be at least a little bit careful here, but I mean, let's be real, it's just going to be kind of a mess until the end. The other one was kind of a mess until the end, too. That's why it took me a little while to wrangle it all together. Try to get some of these shadows and highlights to move along, too. Okay, yeah, that should look pretty good. Stretch that side back out, and we'll move just all of this over. No, it's a good thing that the only goal is just to get things started, because, boy, does it look messy. Super messy, man. Okay. Let's see how it's doing so far. Is it moving enough? I don't need to get off the keyframe here, so... I think I wanted to do a little bit more. But for that, I can just move the buckles. This is what I did on the other side too, so... And I think it worked pretty well. I had a lot of corrections to do afterward, but it still worked out pretty well. Because I do think that these little buckles here show the turn the best. They show me about how much it's moving, and I can adjust everything around them. Alright, how's that? A little more. I'm still not quite happy. It's okay, I think this is the place to be picky. Just the solid metallic bits. Okay, how's that? I mean, don't mind that some things are not properly connecting yet, but that will be fixed. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Now I just start correcting all those little metal parts. That is basically how things worked out on the other side. I'm just going to start with moving between the two keyframes. I will disarm the parameter and check it normally once I'm kind of happy with how things are going here. I just think it'll be a little easier like this because, well, everything's just kind of messy right now, so you can kind of consider this being the big picture. And once the big picture is done, then I can worry about getting everything smooth. Okay, I think this should be okay. This one actually doesn't look too bad. Definitely a little bit stretched out at the screw there. It needs to be a little bit stretched out just to show the angle change, but I think it was I think it was a little bit overly stretched there. Yeah, that's a bit better. The hard part is the perspective I want to put on the little ends here. I think that's okay. The overall shape, it's not quite in the right spot yet. The overall shape, I think, is okay. There we go. Yeah, I think that should look alright once I clean it up a little bit more. And then over here. Yeah, kind of similar issues. I get the feeling that I'm going to be seeing a repeat of problems quite a lot. Just the screw seeming a little bit too stretched out and going from there. And then just doing my best to get the perspective the way that I want it on this guy. Yeah, looking at the time, I am wondering if I'm even going to be able to finish this one little physic today. Way more complicated than I expected. Still, I think it'll look really good. And I want to do something similar for her other sleeve, so when I say other sleeve, I mean the sleeves on her shirt. As opposed to her coat. I think a little twist there will make things look really nice. Okay. I think that should be good there. So now I'll get that little kind of connecting piece here. Oh, this one actually might be okay. No, I think I want the highlight to come back a little bit. Highlight just ran off a little bit too far. Gotta come back home. It's dinner time. Okay. I'm gonna try to make the very back of this very, very thin. Okay, so I think that's good for getting it started. Now let's see how it's moving, and then I will adjust all of these little metal pieces, and I will adjust everything else around them. Okay, not as bad as I feared it might be. Okay, what do I do here? I think I need to drop this just a touch. But everything else seems pretty alright. Yeah. I don't think this will actually be that bad here. I think I had a better idea of what to expect now, so it was a little bit easier on me. Or maybe it's just the angle. I'm not sure. But regardless, this doesn't seem like it'll be too bad. Once again, with all these little metallic parts, I want to try to match it up as closely as I can. Just as closely as I can get it. I don't really want them to look like they're moving around and squirming. Metal parts are a bit more picky than some of the fabric I've been dealing with. The fabric's been nice, because I can basically do what I want and it'll be fine. But these guys, they're a little bit more picky. It's gotta look stiff. It's gotta look rigid. And it's gotta look like it's actually connected to the coat. Not doing that right now. Didn't notice it right away, but indeed, it does not actually look like this part is connected to the coat itself. Let's get that on there. And as a result, I'm pretty sure that this guy needs to fold down a little bit more too. Alright, let's make this a little bit straighter since the original is quite straight. There we go. Maybe something like this. This corner's still not quite on the coat. Let's get him on there. Gotta be careful because my hand just keeps really wanting to bend it. I'm actually gonna hide this for a second, just so that I can make all of this look a little bit less bent. Gotta be straight. Gotta be very straight and attached to the coat. Both of these are mandatory. Do not want floating, I don't know, random buckles on the sleeve of the coat here. Do not want them to be floating. Definitely not. That would just be silly. Okay, but I think that's good. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, I think this back part is actually all right. I think he looks fine. So, that'll be left like that, and I will just work on this little connecting spot that is kind of squirming about. Doesn't quite know what's going on right now. So I'll help him out. Help him figure it out here. Yeah, there we go. And then with the way this is turning, I want everything to get more compressed closer to the left side here. And as opposed to kind of keeping equal distance between all the vertices. Okay, gotta consult the mesh for the rest of this because there's just some spots where the distance is not quite matching up and I'm not quite sure where it is. So unfortunately, these are not actually like perfectly straight. They weren't drawn that way. Okay, I think that's good. This part actually doesn't look... The last part, it doesn't look too bad either. So, that is fortunate. Let me actually pop that up just a tad before I jump into doing that part. And once again, I think I will hide this just so I can keep this a little bit straighter near the edge there. And I gotta connect it to the coat. It is not actually connected to the coat here. It's tricky because things get so close together here. So close together. I think that should be okay though. It might be a little crunchy through there. Let me take a look at it. No, that seems fine. Oh man, oh no. I was like, wait, is that the last one? But no, that was not the last one. Alas, still got a couple more to do. Okay, and once again, this part seems okay. So it seems like throughout all of my doing my initial steps there, I actually got those parts pretty okay. They cooperated for me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. I feel like I'm getting into kind of a groove, though. Probably just in time for me to actually finish both of these turns, but I guess it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Just, it takes me a little while to kind of figure out what I need to do, and therefore, I need to do several before I get a good feel for what needs to be done. And because I have to do a few before I get a good feel for it, it means that by the time I do, I am often just about done with whatever it is that I'm working on. I feel that sometimes. It is perhaps a little bit unfortunate. That should be close enough. Yeah, seems good to me. Let's do the last one. Just one more. Okay, this one actually does have a problem on the top bit here. This just needs to come down a little bit. Needs to be a little rounder on the bottom. But as always, it is nothing I can't fix. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. My foot just keeps being very unhappy with whatever position I put it in, and it's It is being perhaps a little bit distracting. I'm really looking forward to throwing a pendulum on this, though. I think it's going to look really nice. I think I'm going to do top and bottom twists next time, though. Today we'll just do left and right. It's because they ended up being very time-consuming. All the little pieces added up and just took me by surprise. Yeah, I mean, look how many pieces are actually in it here. I mean, I guess my head is kind of in the way. Yes. See? See? There's a lot. There's a ton of them. It's about as tall as me. Okay, let me put myself back there. There we go. There is a lot. And I continue to be surprised by how very not straight these little connecting pieces are. The spot that connects like the two pieces of the belt. Or buckle. Or whatever it is. So I'm trying to match up all the curves too, and that is a little bit more difficult than I expected it to be. Art keeps you on your toes, man. You never know what to expect. Never. There's been many times I go into drawing something and I'm just like, oh yeah, that should be no problem. I'll get it done in like an hour, and then 3 hours later, and I may be halfway. That has happened a few times. That has happened to me a few times. Okay, the way I see it, if art didn't keep me on my toes, it'd be a lot less interesting. Okay, there we go. I think I finally wrangled it. Just wanted to get that highlight really nice because I think that this is like the defining characteristic of the buckle here. The most prominent point. And I was pretty sure once I got that right, everything else would just be okay. And indeed, everything else just seems pretty okay. So now it's time to hide it, so that this way I can make that buckle a little bit straighter, because it's got a funny little curve to it, and I am not a fan. And it's just easier to see when I go ahead and hide it. Did that clean that up? Yes. Yes, it did. Okay. So, I think before I go and attach the sleeve, I want to check the belt loop here and the belt itself. Yeah, belt itself needs some work too. I think I will get the belt loop first, though. Let me see. Is the button in a good spot? Nah, I want the button to turn a little bit more too. We're just gonna turn everything here. I wish I could make it look a little bit less concave there, but I'm not quite sure how else to turn it. Let's do some science here. See if I can figure out something slightly better here. I do not think I need to be especially precise here because this looks cloth to me. I guess this is fine. Let me see, is there like a bottom part of the loop? Yeah, it does look like I have a separate piece somewhere in here. Where did I put it? I'm just gonna click through all the layers here until I find it. Okay, there it is, right there. So I think if I take you and just kinda tell you to go away, that will also make a difference. And the belt loop itself, if I can tuck that in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Alright, now I'm just gonna kind of clean up some of the shapes and hopefully make things look a little bit nicer there. Right now it's still looking a little questionable to me. Don't feel like this guy here is quite lining up properly, and I kind of want to straighten this outer edge just a little bit. I want to make it look like we're seeing it from the front instead of the side now. I think that will be accurate. Okay, and this needs to drop a little bit. I pushed it up a little bit too high, so we'll just drop it on back down. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Alright, let's move on to this guy here. Let's see, where are you? You are this and this. So pull the button out a little bit more. I will tuck the flap in a little bit more, and then I will worry about all the shadows and highlights on it. Okay, that seems pretty legit to me. So let's just worry about the shadows on the belt here. Take a nice little small brush and just move them to the side of it. And just kind of cleaning up some spots that I thought got a little bit distorted while I was doing all this. Yep, seems good. And then there's the, like, belt itself. Yeah, there it is. I just kind of want to tuck this in. I guess I should get the back, too. Where is the back? Let me find it. Where's it hiding? Man, where is it hiding? I guess I'll just click things until I find it. This is going to be all the buckles and stuff. This is why your layer hierarchy is important. Otherwise you'll get lost. Okay, there it is. So now I can kind of push all these things together. Huzzah. Okay. So that's the belt. Now I think all I have to do is kind of connect the sleeves here. The two halves. Yep, so far so good, I'd say. That's a nice little twist. Alright, let's go on in. I'm gonna start with just the edge here. Just kind of pay attention to where some of these things should go. I will double check before I do any movement. Top of it is kind of running along that shadow there. So that tells me that this guy should be coming, like, way out here. Something like that. This sticks it just a little bit further out from this screw. So something like this. And kind of same over here. I already knew that this side would be covering up the outer side here a lot. So this is already checking out. I think it's going to look fantastic. I'm very excited. I am very excited indeed. I'll worry about cleaning it up after. Where is it relative to the belt here? Probably something like that. With this a little straighter. There we go. Get my big brush again for the last bit here. Just bring it all on over. Okay, that is super messy, but that is to be expected. Okay, let's do the outer sleeve now. We don't really see it up there, so I'm not going to worry about it. And here. Kind of just barely connects with this here, so I think something like that will look good. Here, we see the highlight through the edge there. So that'll be something like this. It'll carry it all down in a little while. Here we do not see any of it. It should all be pushed in. I need a smaller brush for this. Maybe not that small. There we go. And around the belt, a little bit beyond the button. Yeah, just a little bit beyond, so something like right there, and then just carry it all the way down. Okay. This should be fine for a first pass. Let me see if that edge looks okay here. I'd say so. I think that looks pretty good. So let's go straighten out the edge, and then I will worry about all these little shadows and highlights running through here. But first, I want the edge to be nice and clean. Nice and clean. Let's get everything nice and smooth here. As always, paying attention to where all the little bumps and valleys should be. Because there are a few. Things stick out a little bit more right there. And I think that screw is... well, no, I guess it does kind of sit on the highlight there, doesn't it? Okay. I was gonna say it should be in the shadows, but it actually isn't. It sits on the highlight. I am surprised. I'm pretty sure the sleeves are symmetrical, so I figured that it would be roughly the same as the other side. Maybe it is, and I am just misremembering. It's fine either way. I will find my way through. Okay, this is looking pretty smooth now. So I think all should be well soon. This is all pretty straight, which also makes it pretty straightforward. Gonna go nice and easy here. There we go. Just all the way down, nice and quiet. Okay, yeah, I think that looks alright. Now we'll do the same for the outer sleeve. The outer sleeve, I think I'm just gonna do both the inner side and the outer side there at the same time. So let's see here. Yeah, this one should be completely covered up. So probably don't have much adjustment I need to do there. And let's see, this guy... little bit showing. Just a teeny tiny bit showing here. Alright, I will just follow this all the way down. Before I figure out what's in that area between the two buckles, let's just figure out how this one is supposed to be. Is any showing? No. So that tells me that what I have here is about right, actually. Okay. So I can just line all this up and make it a bit smoother here. Right now, it's kind of going all over the place, and I don't think it quite knows what it's doing. I don't blame it. These, 3D turns are hard. Thinking in 3 dimensions is hard. Like, here I am, working on a 2-dimensional plane, known as my computer screen, and yet I'm trying to pretend like I'm moving a 3D object, even though I am not. These are just pixels on a flat surface. It's all illusions all the way down. I am just trying to trick your brain into thinking that there's more going on here than there actually is. Art is funny like that. It sounds so manipulative, but it's ultimately what makes certain pictures appeal to us. Okay. There we go. I do think it's looking quite good, though. Nice little twist. Time to get all these little highlights. Man, what an adventure, though. What an adventure. Physics had been so easy and quick up to this point, but here I am. Back to doing a parameter that's gonna take me more than one session to finish. Yeah, just trying to get the highlight to be the right width all the way across here. Figuring out where it connects on the belt buckles here and then making it nice and straight and smooth. I'm trying to match the same triangle structure that my default had, just, you know, a little bit more stretched out. And I think that'll be a good first step until I decide which things need a little bit more attention. I'm sure that there will be some parts that do. Alright, I'll straighten it all out down there. The way I'm thinking about this is that because it's all twisting to the left here, that everything, all the shapes should be moving a little bit further to the left. And then from there I'm just using these guys as a solid landmark. I'm seeing like roughly where they intersected before. Like you can see here, it's right after this dark spot. So I'm trying to put it close to that dark spot here as well. Everything moves relative to everything else, and that's ultimately what matters. It just means certain spots are going to be a little bit more stretched out, but that checks out, because we will see more of this side at this particular angle. It's because more of it is being exposed. Before, part of this was kind of receding into the back here. It was going off into space that we couldn't see. And now that she's twisting her coat sleeve like this, we just see a little bit more of certain parts of it. Alright, let's see how this little twist works now. Oh, the highlights and good spots. I think there's a little bit back here that still needs to move a little bit more to the left, but otherwise, I am quite happy with that. I think that looks pretty fantastic. I just kind of want to move this row over a little bit more. But then I think all will be well. I just have to worry about kind of the inner shadows in here. Want to move the highlight running through here up a little bit more too. So something like this. Just needs to go a little further out. And I need to straighten all that too. This part. Not smooth. There we go. That's a bit smoother. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. I am pretty happy with that. Okay, now let's just fix up the inner shadow here. And I think that will be a completed angle. Took me a little while, but I got it. I always tell you, I always win in the end. Always. Every time. No exceptions. Sometimes it just takes me a little while. And it's fine. Is that just ultimately what it... that's just part of being the artist. You get to do what you want. Just a matter of, how long you're willing to flail at it. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. So let's go check both of these. I think those are some pretty fantastic little turns there. So let's flip it over to the other side. And there we go. We got some twisting. I like it. I think it's good. That's gonna look great on her arm when it comes time to... or, I guess these aren't arms. These are just sleeves. But it's gonna look great once I attach it to a pendulum. So next time I'll do the up and down. And that should be very exciting too. But I think this is where I will stop for today. That... oh man, that took a while. That was quite the little adventure. I guess I don't really need to export this time because I didn't actually make any changes that would be visible on the model yet. Gotta attach it to a pendulum first. Yeah, regardless. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.